So jumping in my screen here, we're going to start taking a look at interest rates first and see what's going on with interest rates across the board, because you probably have heard that the federal government has dropped their Fed funds rate, which means that interest rates have come down, but that doesn't necessarily mean that mortgage rates have come down as well. Going into this chart, you can see that back here in spring and summer of this year, we were sitting at roughly, let's say 6.6 to 7% interest rates across the board. Now, all of these rates that I'm quoting, they are actually lower here in Utah. We're typically about 0.5%, maybe even 0.75% lower than what you'll see here on this board or on this chart. So it is worth noting that some of these numbers are going to be different from maybe what you're getting quoted out there in the market. But this is a 30-year fixed rate mortgage across the entire nation. So back here in spring and summer, we were about 6.5 to 7%. It was kind of fluctuating. Then we start to see it slowly come down through the end of summer and the fall months. And then right here is right when we started hearing that, hey, maybe the federal government is going to drop their Fed funds rate. So that's what we're looking at, this blue line right here. So that's where this actually dropped down to about 6.3. And then this was coming down here. And then right before they announced it on September 16th, I think they actually announced September 17th, they actually saw interest rates drop substantially. We went from 6.3 down to 6.1 on this chart here. However, you'll notice that it jumped back up to almost 6.4% afterwards. Then again, we had another quarter interest rate drop on the Fed funds rate right here at the end of October. However, interest rates went back up again. So this was kind of the market anticipating that the drop was going to come. But then interest rates went back up. So you might be thinking, well, hey, why have interest rates at the Fed funds rate gone down by 0.5%, but mortgage rates have actually really not moved all that much from where they were just a couple months ago before those drops came? Well, that's because there's still uncertainty in the market. People are still concerned about inflation. They're still concerned about jobs data. They're really concerned about what's happening out there in the overall economy. They're worried about recessions. They're worried about what's going to happen with politics, right? There's a lot of unknowns out there in the market, and this is causing hesitancy for mortgage lenders in this market. So that's why interest rates have really not moved all that much.